You are gaining weight specifically because you are trying to optimize your body. You force down sawdust-like bars and industrial whey shakes, terrified that without them, your progress will vanish and you'll become soft. But here is the biological glitch. The more protein you stack to lean out, the more your body may actually be storing as fat. You are paying premium prices to fuel a $26 billion global protein industry that preys on your feeling of inadequacy. In return, you're often getting expensive urine, overstressed kidneys, and ironically, the very weight gain you're trying to avoid. In the next 10 minutes, we will expose the source code of this massive empire and show you exactly how to opt out of this metabolic trap before your clean diet turns into a long-term nightmare. But if this entire mechanism is so flawed, why does buying a new tub of powder still feel so incredibly satisfying? The answer is the ghost loop. To understand why we are obsessed with protein today, we have to look at the ghosts of nutrients past. Rewind to the 90 seconds. The villain was fat. We were told it clogged our pipes. So we cut it out, replaced it with sugar and processed cookies, and got fatter. Rewind to the 2000s. The script flipped. The villain became carbs. We demonized bread and rice and developed a collective anxiety disorder around sandwiches. Now, look at the present. The industry has run out of things to remove. They have tapped the fear market dry. So, to keep the line going up, they needed a savior. They needed something to add. Enter the protein messiah. Protein isn't just some nutrient anymore, it's the main fuel for your metabolism. It is pop culture. From water to coffee to candy bars, if you slap the word protein on the label, you can charge triple the price. That $26 billion empire isn't built on health. It is built on a business model that preys on your feeling of inadequacy. Whey protein alone accounts for nearly 9 billion of that pot. But physically, what is this stuff? Most of it isn't food. It is protein isolate, highly processed, stripped of nutrients, and glued together with artificial sweeteners to mask the taste of industrial chalk. You are buying industrial filler and calling it health. You might be thinking, okay, it's expensive, but surely eating extra protein is just a safety net? Better safe than sorry, right? This assumption that more is better is the exact trapdoor that is about to open beneath your feet. We fall for the trap because your brain is running on outdated firmware. Evolutionarily, humans come from a background of scarcity. For 99% of our history, getting enough dense energy was a life or death struggle. Your brain is wired to release a massive dopamine, hit a feeling of safety and accomplishment whenever you secure a high-value resource. Marketing agencies aren't selling you nutrition, they are selling you survival cosplay. When you drink that shake, you don't just feel full, you feel virtuous. You feel like you are taking control of a chaotic world. The sweetness, usually sucralose, tricks your reward centers, while the label reassures your logical brain. It feels responsible. But look at the back of the package. To make protein shelf-stable and cheap, they strip away the water, the fiber, and the micronutrients. And here is the fact. Your body is smart. It knows you don't need 200 grams of protein to sit in an office chair. When you flood the system with excess, a biological switch flips. Your body doesn't build muscle with the surplus. It panics. It triggers a process called gluconeogenesis. Translation: your liver treats your pricey protein like raw ingredients and cooks it into sugar. If you do not burn that sugar immediately, your body stores the extra energy. And then, if you don't burn it, it stores it as fat. You hear that right. You are paying premium prices to spike your insulin and get bloated, just with extra steps. So your brain is happy because it thinks it's winning. The shareholders are ecstatic because they sold you waste product at a premium. But while you are celebrating your gains deep inside your torso, A vital department of your biological corporation is beginning to scream for help, interrupting the simulation for a critical update. The world is full of noise designed to separate you from your money and health. Arm yourself with research and stop operating on autopilot. Join the informed by clicking like and subscribe. Now, let's shrink down and watch the collapse. To understand the damage, we need to enter the corporate headquarters of You, Incorporated. Under normal conditions, You, Incorporated runs smoothly. You eat a balanced meal, and the protein shipment arrives in a manageable amount. The workers, cells, use it to repair muscles and skin. Anything unused gets sent to the basement, the kidney department. The kidney department is staffed by millions of hard-working filtering units called nephrons. Think of them as tiny robot accountants with green visors. Their job is to sort the nitrogen waste from protein metabolism. They shred the documents, bag the trash urea, and flush it out of the building. The robots clock out at 5 p.m. and the office is quiet. Then, you start the protocol. You begin consuming 200 grams of protein a day because an influencer said to optimize. Suddenly, the office is drowning in inventory. The cells protest, "We don't need this." But the shipments keep coming. Here's the biological truth. The body can't store protein like fat or carbs. If not used, it must be processed immediately. It's perishable inventory. So, the excess is dumped down the elevator shaft to the kidney department. This is called hyperfiltration. Your kidneys are forced into overtime, working at 150% capacity to filter the flood of nitrogen and ammonia. The pressure inside the delicate filters rises. The robots are working on caffeine and panic, processing more waste in an hour than they evolved to handle in a day. The nephrons don't complain. They keep the blood clean. But every machine has a breaking point. And you're about to push the overload button one too many times. The failure doesn't happen with a bang. It happens with a whisper. It happens when the toxic office culture finally breaks the workers. This is the reality of kidney stress. High protein intake raises the pressure inside your kidney's tiny filters. Picture blasting a paper coffee filter with a fire hose. Over time, those delicate filters scar and stiffen. That scarring is called glomerulosclerosis. And here is the horror. Once a nephron dies, it never comes back. You cannot hire new staff. You are permanently understaffed. Because kidneys have a massive reserve capacity, they suffer in silence. The remaining robots just work faster to cover for the dead ones, which makes them die faster. Here is the stat that should keep you up at night. 35.5 million American adults have chronic kidney disease. That's 14% of all U.S. adults. And 9 out of 10 of them do not know they have it. Globally, an estimated 788 million adults are affected. You might be feeding your muscles, but if your kidneys are unknowingly compromised, that extra protein stress is like forcing a sprinter to run a marathon with a fractured ankle. When the accounting department collapses, the toxicity builds up in your blood. The pump becomes lethargy. The CEO brain looks at the profits chart. It's crashing. You are paying premium prices for high-protein snacks only for your body to treat them like cheap candy while your kidneys slowly die from the workload. The high is gone. The crash remains. You are left with expensive urine and a thinner wallet. The system has failed. The office is toxic. But standing amidst the wreckage of this biological burnout, there is a strange sense of clarity. The building isn't burned down yet. We can still save the remaining staff. We need to zoom out, we need to stop the panic, and upload a new perspective. The universe doesn't care about your macros. The industry doesn't care about your kidneys. But you have the power to opt out of the simulation. The truth is, you are not living an Olympic life, so you do not need an Olympic amount of protein. Unless you are an Olympic athlete training 6 hours a day, your body is incredibly efficient. Data shows that the average American man eats nearly 94 grams of protein a day. The deficiency rate is roughly 5% to 9% of the population. If you are eating real food, rice, beans, meat, and vegetables, you are already winning. You have been fighting a war that ended years ago. You are solving a problem that doesn't exist. And here is how you reclaim your agency and save your internal accountants. The first step, the audit. Stop reading the front of the box. The front is advertising, the back is the confession. If the ingredient list looks like a chemistry exam, isolates, gums, red dye 40, put it down. Do not buy chemicals at the price of food. The second step, whole food equity. Real protein eggs, beans, fish, lentils comes with a biological package of fiber and water that your body knows how to process without burning out. It digests slowly, it keeps the robots happy, it's cheaper, and it works. And the last one, intuitive management. Trust your internal CEO. Eat when you are hungry. Stop tracking every number on an app. You have been running a race that has no finish line. Step off the treadmill. Your kidneys will thank you, your wallet will thank you, and you might finally rediscover the simple, unbranded joy of just eating. For your next meal, I have a challenge. Eat something that does not have a label. No calculations, no guilt, just fuel. If you know someone trapped in the protein obsession, drowning in powders and anxiety, send them this video. Now, if you think protein marketing is wild, the next level is the healthy label scam. That is where the real mind games live. Click the next video on screen to decode it.